You're here live with Coach Lew at Accelerate Life University, your #1 source for self-education success. XLR8life.com. Hey guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lew. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8life.com. Coach Lew will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lew. Here's Coach Lew.
Friends, welcome to Breakthrough with Coach Lew on this fine Monday morning. We have had quite a month behind us here so far in the month of October, if this is when you're listening. In the past few weeks, we have learned that fear is the #1 thing that really holds us back. And then we found out how it controls you. The question is now, would you like to know how to break through fear when it shows up? Life Boost Coffee, love it. Okay, you might be going, well, yeah, wouldn't anybody, Coach? I mean, seriously. I'm glad you said yes. So let's dive into it this morning. How do we break through fear? And, just taking a little walk down memory lane of the past couple of weeks. What is fear? Is it false evidence that appears real? Sometimes. Is it F everything and run? Sometimes. Is it face everything and rise? Sometimes. And you might go, Coach, you're not really helping me here to define exactly what this fear is and which acronym I should use, right? Okay, well, that is true, because sometimes you look at it and go, well, there's different levels of fear and there's different categories of fear, okay? So at this point, though, you should have a pretty good idea how fear poses itself, okay? And, I think the key point to remember here is that, whether fear is real or perceived, it does serve a purpose, and it does, even more importantly, have emotional and physical consequences that go along with it. Remember that. Fear does serve a purpose, and it does have physical and emotional consequences that go along with how you allow the fear to affect you. And you notice I said how you allow the fear to affect you, not what the fear is, okay? There's going to be fear, whether it's real or perceived, but it's what it does to you that changes the outcome of what it does to your body, your emotions, okay? So here's 3 key steps to breaking through fear. You ready for this? This is the supernova of gospel of fear right here. No, seriously, guys. So when you begin to feel fear, you have to ask yourself, what does this really mean? Number 1, what does this really mean? Well, I'm afraid the boss is calling me to his office because I'm going to get fired. Okay, does it really mean that necessarily? Could. I mean, there is always that possibility. Okay. What if you walk in your home and your alarm's going off and you happen to notice your house is turned upside down? What do? Okay, some people would retreat, flight. Some people would freeze, not know what to do, and some people get ready to fight. They draw their weapon and go, whoever's in this house, show yourself. I bet you can guess which one of those 3 responses might be me. Okay? But yours might be different. But you ask, what does this really mean? Okay? What does this really mean? And you might go, hey, there's a real problem here. I've got to be ready to fight, flight, or freeze. Or you might say, in all reality, this is a warning sign that I need to look into this, right? Or you might say, this is just all crap in my head. Okay, so that leads us into step 2, which is determining that category. Is the fear clear and present? Danger. Is it like a lion coming at you? Or is it a lion in your head coming at you? Is it a foreboding that something needs attention? Okay, I've been on edge for days. Well, yeah, because you have supposed to be paying the electric bill and now it's getting shut off. Well, something needed your attention, okay? Or is it your imagination running wild? What if? And in so many situations, when something traumatic happens, imagined or real, all of a sudden your imagination will keep taking that to a next level. Well, what if this? What if that? Why? How? And you can really put yourself into a total frenzy of fear. So remember, determine the category. Real, clear, and present danger. Foreboding that something needs attention, or is it your imagination running wild? Those are the 3 categories of fear. It's pretty simple stuff. When you're going through it, it doesn't feel simple, okay? So now that you know what you're dealing with the question that becomes how to deal with it. You know what you're dealing with. You've determined that in step 2. Number 1, you ask what it really means. Okay, is this really a call to action? Probably sometimes. Secondarily, you determine, is it a clear and present? Is it a foreboding? Or is it your imagination running wild? Now, you don't sit there. We're going to go into this in a minute. So hold that thought. Now you know what you're dealing with. So now it's how do you deal with it? What are the appropriate steps to determine the meaning and the action and the outcome of this? Okay. Number 4 is going to be taking appropriate action. Fight, flight, freeze when appropriate. Investigate further and break a pattern of let's call it what it is, worry. Okay? So fight, flight, or freeze when appropriate. Investigate further if it's a foreboding, but yes, it's going to break that pattern of worry because you're going to get to the bottom of it instead of worrying about what if, what could be, oh my God, what could be wrong. Worry is the most dangerous form of fear because it takes a massive toll on your mental and physical health. Okay? Number 5, you're going to evaluate and determine if what you perceived was correct. Okay? Was your initial evaluation correct on this? This is after you've taken action and so forth. Okay, you took the appropriate action. Was it the right action? And how could you better deal with this scenario in the future or similar scenario? Oh, it becomes a playbook. Okay, so there's a major truth here. Fear never goes away, folks. It's always going to be a part of life. It's not always a bad thing. It can lead to growth, okay, as long as it doesn't become chronic worry. When fear becomes chronic worry, hey, we got a problem. Think of your health. Why do you get your blood work done? Why do you get your annual testing and whatever testing is age appropriate for you? Well, because I'm afraid something could be wrong. Maybe you don't want to say that. Maybe it's okay. That'll ease my mind to know that my body's operating like it should be. Okay. Now the problem with that is when people go from, my cholesterol's a little high to they're worried about it every day. That becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where your health will decline from worry. Your health is not going to necessarily decline by going, hey, you know what, I'm going to go get my blood tested each year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, make sure I'm going to monitor my body. Okay. That's not chronic worry. That just makes some sense. But when you start to worry every day, and trust me, we've all been there. I've done it. Oh my God, I think I'm dying. I think we've all had those moments, no matter what age you're at, where, you think something's chronically wrong, or, something happens, or you lose a friend at too young an age to something, and you go, oh my God, that could be me. Or, my family history, or all this. And that's, the medical kind of kills you, just like the media a lot of times, because they're like, what's your family history? Oh, you better, I've had people tell me that, doctors told a 20-year-old they should have their breasts removed because somebody in their family had cancer at one point. There's a little more that needs to delve into that now, and if they have cancer at that point and that's the only alternative to save their life, that's a different story. Or, your father died of heart disease, so you're going to too, and you got to go on statins to make sure you don't have maybe Daddy-O's heart disease didn't come from cholesterol. Maybe it did. Maybe a different lifestyle. See, there's so many factors there, but maybe there's a lot of worry too. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you I'm immune from this stuff. This month has really been the right time for me to deliver this stuff to you guys. It's been kind of a crazy month of October of things popping up and stuff happening, and, deal with this and deal with that and unexpecteds. And it's like, wow. Okay. But again, okay, certain things are clear and present. Okay. Bad experience of clear and present danger this month. Boom. I've had some forebodings where you go, hey, some stuff needs some attention. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Take care of that. And then there's the, oh my God, am I dying mode, or something like that, where it's like, really? What's the truth? The clear and present's clear and present. In retrospect, when you look back, the foreboding, you go, God, I'm glad I had that, feeling that I needed to look into that because that did need attention. And then the other is your imagination running wild, where you're like, oh, and then you find out it's, you were totally off base. But the reality of that is not 1, 2, or 3 of that's right, wrong, or indifferent. They all serve a purpose at a different time. Think of it that way. Okay. Fear is not necessarily your enemy. Okay. So now here you got it. You got the formula. Okay. And you might go, shoot, Coach, I already forgot. Well, go back and read it. Go back and listen to it. That's a good thing about these things being on replay. You can go back on our blog at accelerate.life.com at any given time and watch the replays fully out, or you go on Spotify and listen to the replay. Okay, that's even cool too. I love Spotify. They're my favorite podcast platform. I'm on a lot of them, but that does happen to be my favorite. Okay, there's another important note to fear. That's really important to remember. And that is I kind of alluded to this earlier, but we're going to dig into it. The rate at which you respond, once you determine a fear is imperative, you got to set a timeline for that response. Now, I realize you're thinking, do I have time to evaluate all this when fear is happening? No, you condition this in. In the clear and present danger, you need to respond quickly, okay? In the perceived fear, that kind of running wild imagination, you need to respond slower and more calculated. All right, so let's go for an example. Okay, you see a car wreck happen. What do? You don't sit there and go, I wonder if anybody's hurt. I'm not talking about somebody taps somebody at a light. I'm talking bam, bam, bam on the interstate or something and cars are smashed. It's obvious there's injuries. You don't sit there and go, well, let me go talk to everybody and see if they want me to call for emergency. You immediately dial 911. That's the first thing you do. And then you help 911 determine how many vehicles, what the, you kind of describe, okay, there's one upside down, there's one smoking, okay, go shut the ignitions off, whatever the case is. I'm not going to sit here and school you on that right now. You want to learn the best practice to that? Get in touch with me. I'll tell you exactly the protocol that I would use if you are a witness to an accident or an accident happens. Okay? So you do that. That has got to be autopilot fast. You've got to react fast. Now, what's the worst case you can do there? Call 911 and nobody really needed an ambulance because everybody's pretty okay. Better to err on the side of getting help there faster. Minutes count in those situations. Seconds count. Okay. Now let's go on your spouse is late for dinner. Okay. You might want to hold off who are you effing at the office on the desk instead of, oh, you left your phone at the office and had to turn around and go get it. Okay, so maybe your spouse, you're calling them, hey, you were supposed to meet me a half hour ago, 40 minutes ago, and they're stuck on the freeway, and they forgot their phone, and they don't have an Apple Watch to call you on. Let's just assume that. And you're going into this, he's screwing Susie at the office, or David, or whatever, or they've been in an accident. That's the time to go, okay, what are the options here? Well, my wife is kind of forgetful. They forget their phone a lot. Maybe they forgot it and turned around and went back for it. Now, if you're getting an hour and a half, 2 hours late for dinner and you can't reach them, hey, there's probably something wrong. But, the reality is they're not having boom boom on the desk probably at the office because they're 15 minutes late to meet you for dinner. Okay, it could be the case, but it's probably not. But if you make that phone call and you do that knee-jerk reaction, you can't take that back. Those are hard things to take back once you scream them at somebody. Now, in the same case, like I say, you don't come on an accident scene and go, what's your name? What's your date of birth? How are you? Are you hurt? When the person's arm is falling off. Okay. So you got to, the speed in which you respond in the different categories of fear is seriously going to get you the best outcomes, okay? So the key to breaking through the fears, whatever they are, is to use the 5-step process up above. That 5-step process can take 3 to 4 to 5 seconds, or it could take minutes, or hours, depending on the situation, okay? Use your judgment. Use your smarts there. What's cool, though, is you can apply it across the board to all categories, okay? Just remember, your response times are going to differ. Has this been helpful to you guys this morning? Good. I think this is important. I think fear in this day and age is got a grip on everybody. And I think that our media and certain factions and certain companies that benefit and certain groups that benefit from fear and dissension between people are definitely benefiting seriously from it right now. And who's hurting from it? You, me, and the rest of us awesome American citizens. If you're watching in the States, if you're watching in Canada, you awesome Canadian citizens. If you're watching in Mexico, you awesome Mexican citizens. All this big family, or anywhere in the world you're watching me from. I probably can't name off every country, but we're all in this together. We all want the same thing. If you're listening to this show, you want to grow. You want to be a better person. You want to take care of your family. You want to be decent to people. You are a good, decent human being interested in growth. You're not interested in fear and taking people down and harming. I don't think you'd be on a show like this if that were the case. But there are people that want to hold you back. They want to keep you and I away from each other, because all banded together, we're a pretty powerful group. Okay? We're a powerful group of people going, hey, we're not going to tolerate all this fear mongering. We're not going to tolerate, hatred and all this stuff towards each other. No, we're going to say enough is enough of this, and say 90% of what's getting spewed on the news is fear. Okay? Do your job, news. Report. Okay? Now, some things are scary. I'm not going to say that. Some things are worrisome, guys. There are some things that are worrisome and scary. I mean, we went through the almost 2 years of the COVID stuff. Now, everybody's got their own feeling on that. But even if you said, hey, I know this really isn't going to kill off 3/4 of the world, it still made people nervous, because everybody knew somebody who did have COVID, generally with other morbidities, that passed. Not bunches. I know a lot of people. I have a big network of people, and not very, very, very tiny percentage. However, you can't say that it didn't instill fear if you believed it. Now, the people that were walking around in spacesuits were definitely scared. That was a clear and present danger response. The other folks who said, okay, well, I'm not going to be wearing masks, gloves, and eyeglasses and everything else, but I'm probably not going to a rave where everybody's kissing each other either during this time, because I really don't want to experiment with this stuff. I don't want this COVID thing. Even if you believed it's just a cold or you believed it was totally deadly, there was still fear all the way through at different levels. That's just an example. I think it was overblown personally. But then if you lost somebody close to you during that time, you might feel differently, and you have a right to. Okay, if you want, and I've gotten to that point where for a while there it was like, oh my God, there's still people wearing masks, and it was like, you know what, don't judge. If they want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't. I mean, there were people that gave me a hard way to go for not wearing a mask, and it's like the science is there. It's not doing you any good, but if it makes you feel better, do it. But then I'm like, you know what, live and let live on that one. Okay, I'm not going to judge you if you're still walking around in the spacesuit, and don't judge me and think I'm reckless for breathing oxygen. The whole point is what level of fear? Do you see where I'm going with that? You might be getting butt hurt going, I'm a masker and he's dangerous, or you might be going, hey, come on, coach, those fools wearing the masks are silly. Why don't we get in between of that and go, you know what, it's your own personal choice. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. I'm not going to look at you sideways either way. But we can all agree that it was a major fear media push. Okay? Whether you believe it was founded or unfounded, the media is what created the frenzy. And the media is not always the news station. The Weather Channel now thinks that they can report medical and everything else. Stick to reporting. Is it snowing? Is it raining? Or is it sunny? Okay, that's what the Weather Channel should do. They're not a news station. Okay, they are not qualified to report crime statistics and health and wellness. You're a news app, a weather app. So I think what I'm going to say is get your information from the people you trust. I'm going to say it, and I'm live on YouTube, but too damn bad. YouTube is suppressing some of the medical practitioners that don't exactly follow the WHO. Okay, and this is something you need to let YouTube know, that you need to want to make your own decisions on what you want to watch. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. Okay, you need to find what resonates and works for you. But if you don't, you're going to live in fear. But the thing is when what undoes fear is knowledge, options, points of view, this, that. Have you ever, and I'm going to leave you with this morning, have you ever been really scared of something and you talk to somebody and they're like, oh my God, yeah, oh God, yeah, that, that's a sign of this, and my grandma died of that, and oh my God, and you walk away from that thinking you're dying. Then you talk to somebody that goes, well, a lot of different in-betweens here. I mean, you could have this, or this, using health as an example. Or then you talk to the person that goes, oh, I went through the same thing last year, and you know what it was? I was eating wheat products. And I gave up wheat products, and it all went away. And you try that for 2 weeks, and it all goes away. Or you try that for 2 weeks, and it doesn't go away. Then you have more options to deal with there. But what if you only talk to number one person that says, oh my God, my grandma had those symptoms, and she died 3 weeks later? Well, you're going to be terrorized. Okay? Or if you're in between, you still got... you really have no answers. But if you have a third, a fourth, a fifth person to talk to that has a little different take on things, you got to keep that freedom to be able to choose what you want to watch, listen to, who you want to listen to, whether it's me or somebody else. And there's some great other amazing people out there that I can recommend to listen to. And not follow blindly. I don't want you to follow me blindly. Just because I say it doesn't mean it's God gospel either, guys. Okay? I might have an opinion on something that totally is opposite of yours. And you have a right to go, you know what, I don't agree with you there, Coach. I've done it differently, or I've seen differently, or I believe differently. The thing that we need to support in our community is your right to go, I don't agree with you, Coach. My right to still say this is how I feel, and this is what I believe, and this is, and these are the things. I want to bring you good, valuable information and tools that you're going to grow from. But we can't do that for each other if we are silenced or only one side is heard and one side isn't. You need not two sides. And I'm going to leave you really with this. If you have only one option, you have a problem. If you have two options, you have a dilemma. It's when you have 3, 4, 5, or more that you have choices. That is so profound, guys. I'm telling you. All right, live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dreams. Whoa! Hey, what's next week all about? Next week is probably the most fun, feared show ever, because it is the week we go, what is beyond fear? After you break through the fear by doing some of the steps today that we talked about, what is the next step? What is the next step? Oh, one more thing. This Thursday night, if you are watching live or in the same week, I am inviting you to join me for a free Coach Lew Inner Circle meeting. Yes, get your free seat in there, no obligation, so that you can see what we do in Coach Lew Inner Circle. It's a live interactive. I'm not talking at you like I am here. I mean, you guys can talk to me in the chat. Good morning, Jay. However, it's not just listening to me. It's interaction. We do question and answers. We work as a group. It's a really cool thing, guys. So I would love to have you as my guest. Simple website to remember to go there to get signed up for the free meeting is clicklew.com. Not with a K, CLIC for Coach Lew Inner Circle, LEW.com. CLICLEW.com. I will leave it in the links and the descriptions. Please join me for that, because that will be an absolutely life-changing event for you guys. And we'll get to meet in person. If I don't know you in person. If I know you in person, I get to meet with you more. But if I don't know you personally, then we get to meet finally. So I get to know who you are as well. Live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dreams, guys. Be blessed. This is Coach Lew. Go have your breakthrough, guys.
Ready to take it to the next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lew himself. As Coach Lew always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dreams.